Moving further, we have an inspiring personality amongst us today, our own Honorary General Secretary, Nadoja Dr. Wooday Krishna sir. I request sir to address the gathering.
President of Center for Educational and Social Studies, Bengaluru, Padma Shri Awardee Professor M.K. Sridhar ji, Director of ISEC, Professor D. Rajasekhar, our beloved Honorary Assistant Secretary Shri M.S. Nadoja, our beloved Principal Professor B.G. Bhaskara, our Director, Postgraduate Department, Dr. Bhargavi V.R., distinguished friends on the dais and off the dais. I was supposed to speak in the end as the chairman of the inaugural session, but since I have an appointment with the dentist, I requested Dr. Sridhar ji to permit me to speak in the beginning, and though I was supposed to leave at the end, I am permitted to leave after my talk. Friends, I am very happy and I congratulate the college and for associating with the Center for Education and Social Studies. We have been associating with CES for since a long time, for a number of years, and particularly during the introduction of the NEP 2020, we had a lot of deliberations both here at our Yelahanka campus, Kengeri campus and everywhere. A lot of deliberations, a lot of churning happened over the new education policy, and as you all know, Dr. Sridhar was one of the prime movers behind the national education policy, and it has generated a lot of hope in the young minds, and we are looking for a brighter future through the NEP. And one of the components of NEP, as I see, is the emphasis on research. And I congratulate the organizers for the topic that they have chosen for this research symposium, unleashing thoughts and nurturing ideas. Just yesterday I was going through a book written by Swami Bhajananand ji on youth power and the power of ideas. See, ideas and thoughts have such great power, you see. Unless you generate thoughts, you can't translate them into action. So great thoughts result in great action. And this is well applicable even to research. And I'm very happy to see that, a number of sessions are so beautifully designed, and experts like Dr. Meera Nair, Dr. Rajendra Kumar V. Joshi, and Dr. Sandeep Shastri are all going to be a part of this workshop. And Dr. Bhargavi was telling me about this research clinic, which is something new. It's a very new idea. That is one-on-one interaction with the experts. I have also done my PhD, of course, that was about 25 years ago. We didn't have all these kinds of workshops, this kind of exposure with experts and all that. So we went the normal way, the conventional way and all that. But today, I am happy that a kind of madam, you used the right word, you see, create a culture of research and innovation in higher education institutions. And we are now trying to sensitize even the students and faculty to think in terms of research. Thanks to the NEP also, because that has also brought about some kind of a change in the mindsets of all the stakeholders. And in the last so many years, I have seen a lot of research has been done, but I think we need to assess how much of that knowledge creation has been translated into application. This is very important. Most of the time, we produce research work, publish them, and keep them in the almirahs, and now in soft copies. But how much of it is being used, or how much is being translated into action, into applications, is something that I thought is the most important thing. And today, even of course, in most of the Western countries, we see private organizations, laboratories of these manufacturers. All these people have spent heavily on R&D. some pharmaceutical companies, biochemical companies, they spend almost 25% of their earnings on R&D. But in our country, that is not happening. And of course, even today, looking at the R&D picture, we find that private sector has been supporting, but then the government has also been doing, but not to that extent as expected in other countries. And I was just seeing various things, and the problem of evaluating projects is another important thing. So I was heading the R&D committee of the Institution of Engineers at the national level, and proposals used to come, and by the time they would evaluate and pass it for further work, that would cause a lot of delay and all that. And that's why I was nice to listen to Madam saying, you should that capacity building. Capacity building is very important, because research work, should be continuous and it should be quick paced. In fact, I wanted to propose to Professor M.K. Sridhar that the duration of PhD should be reduced to, I think, 2 or 2.5 years. Sir, we used to spend 6 months only on literature survey, going from library to library. Now it is not required, sir. In 6 hours, I can download all that is the latest research that is available, see, on the internet and all that. So I think the research duration that is now specifically meant for PhD, and with specific reference to PhD, I am saying general research may take its own time. There is no harm about it. But then if you have to attract best talent and then all that, you need to reduce the time for PhD work. That's one of my suggestions I wanted to make at this time. And I visited China in 2006. We met one of the top university heads. They are the presidents of the universities. And he was telling, see, they are able to translate into Chinese the best papers that are published in all faculties within a matter of hours. Within a matter of hours, the best research, the latest research is available to all the scholars in the Chinese language. I think we need to create such an ecosystem, I think even in India, where all such publications, research findings should be made available to our people in our own language. I think that will also add value to our Kannada language, the regional languages and the like. And that, I think, should happen in a big way. Friends, finally, I only say, see, research is, according to me, an attitude. It is an attitude. So first we have to develop this attitude. And I want to quote one beautiful sentence. I don't know from where it came, but then I had read somewhere. See what everyone has seen, but think what no one has ever thought of. That is the kind of mindset we should all wear. See what everyone has seen, keep seeing, but think what no one has ever thought of. I think that if you are able to do that, the efforts of Dr. Sridhar and our Dr. Bhaskar and all Bhargavi, everyone here and in organizing such a meet of this importance will be fulfilled. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for always supporting us and inspiring us. Any purpose can guide us towards better decisions, influence behaviors, shape our goals, offer a sense of direction, and create a meaning. With this, I now request Professor D. Rajasekhar, sir, Director, Institute for Social and Economic Change, Bengaluru, to address the gathering. Sir, over to you.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Professor and Padma Shri M.K. Sridhar, Dr. Krishna, who just now left, Dr. Bhargavi, Dr. Bhagya, and all those who are on the dais and off the dais. I am very happy to be here. When I received invitation from Dr. Gaurisha that I should be spending some time here, and then I immediately accepted, because the respect and gratitude that I have towards Professor Sridhar, and whenever he asks something, then I have to simply accept it. So therefore I am here. And so therefore, I would like to profusely thank both Professor Sridhar and Gaurisha for giving me this opportunity and share a few thoughts. I also would like to congratulate both SES and Seshadripuram College for organizing this very thought-provoking or the very interesting symposium called Unleashing Thoughts and Nurturing Ideas. I think this is a apt kind of terms that the organizers have used. I think there is a need ever before. There is a need for us to unleash our thoughts and then nurture ideas. This morning, I have been given about 25 minutes of time, and then I don't want to waste much time in going into preliminaries. And then I would like to speak about social science research, the status, trends, and future challenges. And you all know that what are the social sciences. I don't have to really educate, but then sometimes it is better to define what we are really talking about. So we are talking about economics, education, political science, sociology, geography, journalism, social work, and so on and so forth. And research in this area. There has been one unfortunate trend about which you are all very well aware, that giving undue or considerable importance to research in sciences and engineering and neglecting social sciences. And this is done with particular reasons of justification. And then the justification is that research in science brings gains through new technologies and visible benefits to humankind. I don't have any disagreement as far as this thing is concerned. Research in science is absolutely important, but so also research in social sciences. I think that is something which is considerably neglected. And then the neglect has started not just 5 years ago or 10 years ago or something, but it has been going on for the last 2-3 decades, because the neglect of social science research. I think that is something which needs to be rectified. And because of this years or decades of neglect, the kind of status that we have as far as social science research is concerned, it's very, very poor. I think we need to take stock of what exactly we have before we think about unleashing thoughts and then nurturing ideas. Under what is the context, what is the, the kind of ecosystem that we have as far as the social science research is concerned when we are talking about unleashing of ideas. The ecosystem that we have is that poor infrastructure. As far as research infrastructure is concerned in India, it's very, very poor, because research infrastructure is something which determines research capability. And this is weak in our country, both in terms of the number of institutes as well as faculty size. There are 1,000 universities in India, and each having departments for social sciences. Some of them may have all the departments, some of them have 3-4, but almost all these universities have got departments in social sciences. And there are also autonomous research institutes such as SES, ISAC, and there are several other institutes. The problem with these institutes, these universities, that the number of teachers per department is very, very low. Sometimes ago it was estimated the number of teachers is 7. Okay, this what happens is that this is the overall figure, but the worst is university. There is some difference. The number of teachers per department is higher in sciences, but very low in social sciences. We have also been having this problem of guest lecturers. There are the number of in some of the universities, sir, the guest lecturers were only present in the departments, but not the permanent staff. And but there is also another aspect to this poor infrastructure. Most of these teachers are in economics. 40% are in economics, 18% sociology, to the discipline to which you belong, and social work. 8% are only in political science. So the number is not only less, but uneven across the disciplines. In general, sociology and political science are neglected. And then the other infrastructure is journals. What kind of journals we have? I think that is something also that we need to take stock of. It is estimated that 2,200 journals are published in India. The number looks very high, but herein the lies problem in details. 80% of them are in English, and a few of them are there that they are all in Hindi. So the problem is that most of the universities, the teaching takes place in local language, and MPhil and PhD dissertations are written in local language. So they don't have really an opportunity to publish whatever they have found out, even if they have come up with wonderful ideas, but then they don't know how to write their papers in English and publish them in these languages, in these journals. The next aspect with regard to journals is that the quality is very, very poor. The longevity is not there. Sir, I would like to narrate an incident. You must be knowing Rajiv Gandhi Youth Institute, which is in Sridhar. And they have announced in Economic and Political Weekly that they are going to start a new journal called Endeavor, so focusing on youth research. I sent them one of my best papers. And then they were also very nice, they published it. This was the lead article and I felt very happy. But it is unfortunate that was the only issue that was published in the last 20 years or something. No other issue came out. So that is the kind of situation that we have as far as research journals are concerned. And there is no collaboration as far as the international publishers are concerned. Now it is picking up. Several journals are having collaboration with Springer, SAYS, Elsevier and other things. But I think that is just picking up. Then I would like to take a couple of minutes on research output. The data that has been compiled for more than a decade shows that about 22,000 papers were published in India from social sciences only. I am not taking other sciences. And the number of books was about 7,000, but not in one decade, I think 5 years. What are the issues in this? The main issue is that most of these publications are in economics, followed by sociology and political science. So the dominance of economics continues. The quality is also something which needs to be seen. The quality is something which needs to be measured in terms of number of citations. The number of citations is very, very poor. It is shown that 61% of these publications, that means 22,000 papers, were never cited. What does this mean? It means that 61% of 22,000 journals, papers, were not found to be worthy of citing. That is really a slap on our face. Okay? So what kind of research output that we are really producing? The rest of them, they were only cited just once. That means it could be self-citations or friend-cited or something like that, but they did not really find wide kind of recognition. But what is to be done as far as this poor citations is concerned? I think one of the things that what can be done is that look at those papers which are cited more often, or number of citations is more. Which are these papers? The evidence shows that those papers which are co-authored, the papers which are written by more than 2 people, 3 people, they are the ones which are cited more. I will come to the reason why exactly this is happening. But 66% of the top quality papers have at least one international collaborator. 66% of the thing. So this is the kind of environment or ecosystem that we currently have. And then we are discussing about unleashing of ideas. I think that's something which we need to keep in our mind. The last one as far as infrastructure is concerned, PhD program. PhD program is carried out in top institutes like IIMs, IITs, and then Indian Institute of Science and things of that kind, but also official state universities. So the kind of infrastructure that is there in top institutes and universities, there is a considerable difference. The PhD is pursued in top institutes as a career, as something which is done for career, whereas the PhD pursued in state universities is just for nothing else is there. So therefore, PhD is pursued, or they are doing preparing for UPSC or something. Therefore, they are doing a PhD. I think there is some considerable difference as far as the perspective that we have, that students have as far as the PhD is concerned. So what happens? Basically, the following happens. Not enough care is taken in the choice of topic. That's the reason why I congratulate you for having this kind of symposium, where you can bring young scholars and research scholars together and then tell them about the importance of choosing the right topic. And then the supervision is poor, infrastructure is something which needs to be developed, the funding is inadequate. Very often they are paid something like about 500,000 rupees as a fellowship, and then not enough care in the constitution of doctoral committees, and they don't have any opportunity to provide, to talk about their research output. Ultimately, what happens is that PhD dissertation, which is not significant in terms of contributions to the knowledge, no quality publications will result. And then this will have considerable negative impact on the job prospects. They cannot really get into any good job. And I was asking the other day some of the researchers and the faculty members from Ajim Premji. Okay? They have been recruiting a number of faculty members, and then they say that the people who have edge over all other Indians is that those who come from abroad, because their publications are much better. By the time they complete their PhD, 4 to 5 papers are published in top journals, so therefore they have an advantage as compared to our students. So my purpose of providing this kind of discussion on research infrastructure is that what is the kind of context that we have, and then what are the new trends that are emerging. The first, I would like to focus on 5 important trends, and then I will conclude this lecture. The first trend is that multidisciplinary research. For a long, we have fought whether we should pursue quantitative research or qualitative research. I think now we have realized that the debate is pointless. Both of them are needed. Okay? It is written, I just quote by one person. In general, quantitative research seeks to understand the causal or correlational relationship between variables through testing a hypothesis, whereas qualitative research seeks to understand a phenomenon within real-world context through the use of interviews and observation. Both types of research are valid, and certain research topics are better suited to one approach or the other. But the emerging trend as far as social science research is concerned, use of both qualitative and quantitative research. But of late, the multidisciplinary research is something which is required, because just some time ago, I mentioned most of the papers which are cited by one or more than one person, are basically those who are multi-authored. Why exactly these papers are getting better citations? That's basically because the team which writes this paper is from different disciplinary backgrounds, because they have different sets of skills. All the different sets of skills are brought together on the table. So the product that comes out from this team tends to be far more qualitative as compared to a single person authored paper or something like that. So let's say about some time ago we were talking about education. Somebody mentioned about education. And then if suppose one wants to study education, quality of education, what is required is that we have a team. We need to have a team with perspectives in economics, with regard to finance and various other things, perspectives in education with regard to psychological aspects of education, sociological aspects of education. We need to have people from different perspectives. I think it is here the multidisciplinary team will have a considerable edge over one person research. But what are the constraints? The constraints is that there is no concrete plan to implement this in most of the universities. We have departments, and departments are in silos. And we have faculty members who rarely talk to each other. So this is the kind of environment that we have. So therefore, multidisciplinary research is something which becomes difficult. The second trend, as far as the social science research is concerned, experimental research. Now most of the people, they are talking about experimental research, and then the fact that Professor Banerjee and his wife and one more person got Nobel Prize in randomized controlled trials is basically because the experimental research has got considerable importance. The previous speaker spoke about evaluation of policies and other things. What it means is that this randomized controlled trial, you create a situation where there is a treatment group and control group, and then these two groups are compared with and without, before and after. And then the kind of impact that you see is very precise, and that is something which will have considerable the policy relevance. And the Africa and Latin America has lapped this kind of research as far as the policy making is concerned. We are somewhat slow, and there are some states which have taken up randomized controlled trials as far as the policy evaluation is concerned. I think that is something which is very, very important. The third important trend, what I would like to present, is that use of artificial intelligence as far as social science research is concerned. And this is a really big game changer. And Dr. Krishna just now mentioned that when he was a student, he used to spend 6 months to collect the studies and then do review. And now it is not required. I think you don't have to run from one library to another library, and the internet you can get. But ChatGPT gives even faster results. Okay, you can just get your review of literature within minutes. But that's not really. AI is something which is making some of these things are possible. Okay, the use of artificial intelligence is something which is becoming very significant, not only here but all over the world. What exactly this is? And I don't want to dwell upon this for a long, but I think I would like to provide a few examples. It basically revolutionized the way researchers collect, analyze, and interpret the data. Okay, and earlier the econometric models, sir, we used to think through these models and then come up with the models. So the human intelligence or human intervention was very much needed, but there were also limitations. Human beings can only think about modeling to some extent, whereas machine can really, look at the literature in a vast manner and then come up with the modeling. But complete dependence on machines is something which is very, very dangerous. Okay, it is here that you take the use of machines at the same time you apply your own mind. I think then the modeling that you can come up is quite very, very, it can be very good. So for example, the anticipation of basically the drought occurrence, and then use of artificial intelligence has played an important role to predict the droughts, where exactly they are occurring and what kind of relief measures have to be really provided. The second area where artificial intelligence has been used is basically the crimes. crimes, occurrence of crimes, and then prevention of crimes. And this is something which has happened in several the countries actually. The other day, some officials from Karnataka came to us from police department. They asked our help as far as the prediction of crimes in different parts of Bengaluru, and then tell us actually what kind of crimes are likely to occur in Jayanagar, JP Nagar, and various other localities. And then we showed our interest, but they have not really come back. But I think that's these are some of the areas that use of AI is something which many people are using. Then, but there are also some challenges are there as far as the use of AI is concerned. Ethical considerations around data privacy, that's one important challenge. Algorithm and the responsible use of artificial intelligence is also one important thing. To what extent we can use it in a responsible manner. The fourth new trend is use of big data. That is something which is again coming. With the rapid increase in the sheer amount of social data produced and that is available, a particular recent trend for researchers from social sciences is to understand the potential of big data in complementing traditional research methods and their value in making decisions. Indeed, big data requires a revisit of data analysis techniques in fundamental ways at all stages, from data acquisition to storage to data transformation and interpretation. What kind of big data are available? So the first one is, first type is social data. Social data includes Twitter or now X feeds. This is social data that are available. Facebook likes, data about mobility and geospatial locations, and illumination, the lights and then illumination. With regard to the last one, for about last 1 decade, researchers from especially those who are located in Europe and America, they have been using the light data, that the illumination in the nights, to predict which are the regions where it is what kind of development is taking place, and then associated the development and so on and so forth. So this is the use of big data. The last important trend, that is as far as the publications are concerned. And there is a considerable sea change as far as the papers published concerned. So once the sixth CPC salaries were introduced, this is the first time that in India, the papers are linked, or the basic academic performance is linked to promotions and various other things. This has resulted in unfortunate development of flourishing publication industry, and then by overnight, and all kinds of unhealthy journals, predatory journals have come up, and then they have started to lure the researchers by stating that they are refereed, they are UGC recognized, they are the impact factor is very high, and so on and so forth. And they collected money and then they published the paper. This became very, very unfortunate. But fortunately, this trend is changing. This trend is changing, and then now the academic performance is sought to be measured by looking at what is called Scopus indexed papers or Scopus indexed publications. The ranking parameters have become far more broad-based and strict, and hopefully, I hope that they continue to stay like that only. But I think what really has happened is that of late, the quality of papers that are being published is improving. This is something which I have been noticing for the last 5 to 10 years in India. And it is here that I would like to, tell a couple of things to the young researchers who are here. That when it comes to these high impact journals, and what happens is that there are 3 stages. One is that once you submit your paper, that can be rejected at the desk stage itself, because immediately within one week or 10 days, your paper may get rejected. That's the desk rejection. second thing is that it is sent to reviewers, and the third one is that it's published. So these are the 3 stages that are there. And then 70 to 80% of the papers are desk rejected. That's the statistics that we observe. And then 20% of the papers are sent for referees. And then, which means that the moment your paper is sent for referee, the chances of its publication brighten up. So therefore, you need to understand. I think that's something which I am sure that somebody will talk about how to improve the publications. That means not only unleashing thoughts and nurturing ideas, but also trying to publish them. I think there may be some discussion around that, but I think it's very important that you send that paper which does not get rejected at the desk level, and it is sent for review. And once a paper is sent for review, then its publication chances go up. In fact, even if it is rejected at the time of review, it doesn't matter, because you have received some good comments. Based on that, you can improve your paper and then submit it elsewhere. And this is something which is a trend in European countries. What they do is that they send their paper first to the top journals, then if it is rejected, then they go to the next journal, like that. Until the paper is published, they keep trying. So at the end, I just would like to summarize the 2 points that I was making, that as far as environment of social science research in India is concerned, it is not quite good as of now. The context is quite this one, but improving, but it's still not very good. The research infrastructure is not there. Journals, we don't have many journals, especially in vernacular languages. And the quality of papers that we are producing are very poor, and judged by the number of citations that it has. But at the same time, we are also witnessing far-reaching changes as far as the social science research is concerned. So this kind of symposia are very, very important, and then they play a significant role in bridging this gap between what is the existing situation and what are the new things that are emerging. I have only covered, because I have a bias of economist, and then the fact that I was talking about artificial intelligence and various other things, only a few things that I could cover, but I think there could be many more newer areas. That's what this symposium seeks to talk about. And then I wish all the best to the organizers, and then to all of you, and then a successful symposium ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for put forthing the actual fact in front of us. Thank you, sir. Center for Educational and Social Studies, Bengaluru, is contributing a lot and doing exemplary work in the field of research. And the leader of all such activities is Professor M.K. Sridhar, sir. We have Professor M.K. Sridhar, sir, President of SES, today, this morning. Sir, it is a great honor to listen to you, sir. A few words of wisdom.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಶೇಷಾದ್ರಿಪುರಂ ಪದವಿ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಜಂಟಿ ಆಶ್ರಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸದ ಸಂಶೋಧನಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಗಾರ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ದಿಕ್ಸೂಚಿ ಭಾಷಣವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿ ಅಂತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವರೇ, ನಟರಾಜ್ ಅವರೇ, ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಭಾರ್ಗವಿ ಅವರೇ, ಮುರಳೀಧರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಮತ್ತು ಸೆಸ್ಸಿನ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಗೌರೀಶ್ ಅವರೇ, ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, I think Professor Rajasekhar gave us a very good understanding of social sciences in India, especially the research dimension. In fact, the status, the kind of challenges, the kind of new trends that are happening, all that he brought out. And I was telling him, Professor Rajasekhar, you spoke like director of ISEC. That is Rajasekhar. Good. And we had Dr. Krishna, who brought out a different perspective of research, the research attitudinal issue. What I feel is, for this kind of symposium, if all of us have to become good researchers, effective researchers, there has to be another dimension. We have to be meaningful researchers also. Yes, when we take up research, we need to keep in mind the methodology, the various process of research, the research topic, the data collection, the analysis, the writing part. But as an institution says, he is very much interested in something beyond all this also. You know, the slogan of SES is social transformation through and with education. So whatever research that we are carrying out, is it a degree? Is it a publication? Is it a research funding? Or is it an addition to our CV? All these are very, very important. I am not denying their importance. But what I feel is, I think the kind of importance that is given in the contemporary scenario, whether you select a faculty member, apart from teaching, you are actually looking at the research capabilities. How effective the person is in research. And when you are actually accrediting higher educational institutions, whether it is accreditation in our country or whether it is QS ranking or Times, the research component is given highest priority. Even as a society, if you see, we need research as a highest priority. Not just in analyzing the problem, but in addressing a problem through a solution. I was just listening to a speech just yesterday. The shoe industry, the textile industry, the norms and standards, the size of shoes that all international companies and Indian companies produce, they are based on the standards of European and American foot. Their legs, They are the standards. And they are manufacturing shoes which all of us as a race, Indian food is different. And if you take the apparel industry, the kind of size that we get whenever you go to a ready-made garment shop, you buy them. There is a size, and that size is not based on Indian bodies. That is completely done keeping in view or based on European and American bodies. Indian bodies are different. Indian food is different. And if you see, I met a doctor who was telling me, I was just asking him, sir, many of the researchers in health, they say eating rice is, it contributes to your diabetes. What do you think? Then what he told me is, see, if you are used to eating rice, if it is a habit, any amount of rice will not affect you. But we are actually thinking, when COVID came, that is a saturation point, Every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, we used to see the saturation, 94, 95, etc. And then in BP also we used to see the saturation. Normal is what, abnormal is what. Then I asked a doctor, what is the basis of all this? I think the basis of all this is something else. We are following the kind of standards that has been set for a different context, for a different situation, for a different kind of people, and we are following all of it. I am not criticizing anything. One of our board members of Chanakya University, he was telling us in the board meeting that maximum number of women in India die of breast cancer. And the kind of drugs that we have developed, it is not based on Indian data, and it is based on European and American data. So you have taken the American data and European data of breast cancer, and you are specifying or you are prescribing drugs for the women who are suffering from breast cancer in India. He was telling us that hundreds and thousands of people are dying because of that. Wrong prescription. Why I am trying to throw some of these issues in? It's primarily because there is no primary research into all these fundamentals. If there is any research homegrown by the people here, then we can identify the standards better, and it is based on our data, our analysis, and let us come out with solutions. So the most important thing in research, what I feel is, the ideas, what the theme of the symposium has said, I think it is the ideas which will really matter very much. In fact, Whether the mic stopped because I am exceeding my time, I'll complete it. Many a time, the greatest discoveries have happened not because of systematic working, but because of a flash of an idea. And if you are really bothered about that particular theme, it will start resulting in research, and that will result in discovery. So therefore, my only small appeal to you is, we have to have all this systematic, everything we need to have. But at the same time, there is a larger purpose for research also. If there is, for example, Indian Institute of Science is a classic example of the researchers undertaking studies which involve societal concerns. I think I just saw a couple of days back that they have formed a huge research team to study the underwater storage facilities of underwater of Bengaluru city. I think this kind of an approach will really make us. So therefore, my only point while ending this is that apart from methodology, apart from topic and all that, the purpose of research is also extremely important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the thought-provoking talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of formal program today. Symbolically, I call upon Ms. Reshma B., Assistant Professor, Postgraduate Department of Commerce, to give the thanking note.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you is the best prayer anyone could say. Alice Walker. Good morning to one and all present here. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this inaugural session. On behalf of management and everyone present here, my sincere thanks to Center for Educational and Social Studies, Bengaluru, for collaborating with Seshadripuram College, Postgraduate Department of Commerce in organizing this one-day research symposium on unleashing thoughts and nurturing ideas. My sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor M.K. Sridhar sir, President, Center for Educational and Social Studies, Bengaluru, for sharing your valuable thoughts on this inaugural session. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our keynote speaker, Professor D. Rajasekhar, Director, Institute of Social and Economic Change, Bengaluru, for sharing your insights on trends in research and ideas. Thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to Dr. S. Muralidhar, Professor, Head of Department, GFGC Kolar, and Member of Executive Council, CES, Bengaluru, for joining us today. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank the guest of honor for the session, Nadoja, Dr. Wooday Krishna, sir, in its absentia. Thank you, sir. I also extend my thanks to Shri M.S. Nataraj sir, Chairman, Governing Council, Seshadripuram College, in his absentia, for joining us today. Next, my thanks goes to our beloved Principal, Dr. B.G. Bhaskara, Principal, Seshadripuram College, for joining us today. Thank you very much for your constant support, sir. I also extend a heartfelt thanks to Dr. T.V. Raju, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Bhargavi V.R., Director, Postgraduate Department of Commerce, for the support and encouragement to us, ma'am. Thank you. I also thank Srimati Savita Bai, Administrative Officer, Dr. Chitra Seshadripuram, Director, Postgraduate Department of Business Administration, Professor Veena, Coordinator, Postgraduate Department of Computer Science, for joining us today. I thank all heads of department. Okay, before I thank the head of departments, I also extend my sincere thanks to Gaurisha sir for joining us for this inaugural session. Thank you very much, sir. I thank all head of departments, teaching staff of undergraduate and postgraduate departments, participants from sister institutions, researchers who have gathered here from various institutions for joining us for this inaugural session and making it a grand success. Thank you one and all. Have a great learning day.
Request to all the participants to take the refreshments which will be served at the pantry outside the conference hall. And it is a request to all the participants to assemble exactly at 11:25 to the PG blocks, which is there in second floor from room number 203 to 207 for the Ignite sessions. And instructions related to the Ignite sessions details is pasted on the wall, and it is a request to all the participants to look into it. Thank you.